do need to see moderation of wage rises. Now, that's painful.
Okay, we've got to talk about inflation. Food prices are going up, energy prices are going up, house prices are going up, the rent is going up. Everything's going up except for your wages. And Andrew Bailey, the governor of the Bank of England, who earns £500,000 a year, by the way, is telling you not to ask for a pay rise. You need to understand what is happening here with inflation. Okay, the first thing you need to understand is that the mainstream media has no idea what is causing this inflation. They're talking about it as if it's some sort of natural disaster that's just dropped on the country, a cost of living crisis. Listen, this inflation crisis was easily predictable right at the beginning of COVID. And in fact, I predicted it in my very first video on this channel. Look, COVID was the biggest economic disaster for 100 years, since the Great Depression. And how did we deal with it? Well, the government just simply printed £450 billion, okay? That's £10,000 for every single adult in the country, okay? And if you're not sitting on £10,000 more in your bank account now than you were before COVID, well, someone else has got your £10,000. And the facts are they probably do, because all the statistics show us that the vast amount of that money was accumulated by the very richest people in the country. That means the richest people in the country stacking up 60, 70, 80, £100,000 more than they had before COVID. Okay, look, if that's how you deal with the disaster, then you can't be surprised when prices go up. These guys are sitting on 70, 80, £100,000 more cash, okay? That means when your kids go to buy a house, they're competing against these kids who have £100,000, £200,000 more cash in the bank. Of course, prices are gonna go up. These guys have a huge amount of cash and they're gonna use it to push up the prices of food, energy, houses that you, your families, and your kids need, okay? And that is not gonna get better unless we do something about the huge amount of cash stacking up in rich people's bank accounts. Is the government going to do anything about it? Well, when you consider that the Chancellor's father-in-law is a billionaire and he himself is worth an estimated $200 million, I suspect he's probably pretty happy about the fact that millionaires and billionaires in this country made a bigger increase on their wealth during the first year of COVID than they ever have done in any other year in the history of this country. Has he raised taxes on those people? Well, actually, he's raised taxes by 2.5% on you and your wages. And he's done it in such a way that it specifically excludes the incomes of billionaires. I don't think he's going to fix this crisis of inequality, and for that reason, things are going to get worse. Okay, so what are the economists, who, as always, have no idea what they're doing, going to do instead of taxing the rich? Well, it looks like they're going to, and in fact, they've already started raising interest rates. What does that mean? That means people who have debts are going to pay more money to people who have savings. Okay, well, who has debts? Well, if you've got a mortgage, it's you. And if you are the government who borrowed a massive amount during COVID, it's you as well, which means the taxpayer. The homeowners and the taxpayers are going to pay more money to the cash holders. And who are the cash holders here? As we've said, it's the rich and the very rich. These guys are going to try and fix the crisis by making you and your family pay more money to the rich. Do you think that's going to work? I don't. Okay, so what happens next? The amount of money in society has permanently increased. That means prices need to permanently increase. But money is no longer pouring in, so eventually prices will stabilize. That means inflation will come back down. Does that mean the problem is fixed? No. Inflation will come back to normal, but prices will stay permanently higher. Permanently higher cost of food, permanently higher cost of energy, permanently higher cost of rent, permanently higher cost of housing. The only price which is not going to become permanently higher is your wage. That's what happens when the rich get richer, but ordinary people don't. Your quality of life decreases permanently. That's you and your family. The rich will be permanently richer, ordinary people will be permanently poorer, and quality of life will be permanently decreased. We have to do something about this. Okay, so what do we do? Number one, educate yourselves and understand what is happening. Don't let them call this a cost of living crisis like it's some sort of natural disaster. Understand that this is being caused by our government using the COVID crisis to allow millionaires and billionaires to accumulate literally hundreds of billions of pounds at your expense. Understand that we can't fix it unless we get that money back. Watch the first video on this channel which explains clearly how that happened. Number 2 is push back. Don't let Andrew Bailey tell you that you don't deserve a pay rise. Push for higher wages for you and your work colleagues. Don't let billionaire Rishi Sunak raise your taxes on you and your family and not raise taxes on billionaires. Push for higher taxes on millionaires and billionaires and lower taxes on ordinary working people. And number 3 is spread this message. Share this video with your friends, your family, your work colleagues. Look, there's a fight going on here and the super rich are winning. The only way we are going to fight this is if we come together to push back. Okay, well, I'm here to do my grocery shopping. If I can afford it, keep watching. So it's intentionally designed, national insurance, so that very rich people pay a very low percent. There is one other thing they can do with that massive amount of income. They can buy your mum's house.